Welcome to Lesson 19A, Displaying Data in Web Forms. Many web applications display data from a database. In this lesson, I show you how to use the data layer that you created in the previous lesson to display data in an ASP.NET Web Forms application. To use the data layer from the previous lesson, you must first add a reference to the assembly. You can do this a couple of ways. Number one, you could add the data layer project to the current solution and add a reference to the data layer project. Number two, you could add a reference to the data layer assembly, or DLL. Either way, you need to add the connection string to the web.config that was used when you created the data layer. List controls are used to display a simple list of items. These are the list controls found on the General tab of the toolbox. The bulleted list displays a bulleted list of items. The checkbox list control displays a group of checkboxes. The drop-down list control displays a drop-down list of items. The list box control displays a list box, and the radio button list control displays a group of radio buttons. Tabular controls are used to display records either in an HTML table or via a template. These are the tabular controls found on the Data tab of the toolbox. The Data List control is used to display a group of records in an HTML table by using a template. This control has a handy property called Repeat Columns that is used to designate how many columns to repeat in each row. The Details View control is used to display a single record in an HTML table. Each row of the table is used to display one field of the record. This control is usually used in conjunction with the Grid View. The Form View control is used to display a single record using a template. The Grid View control is used to display a group of records using an HTML table. This control supports sorting, paging, and editing. Lesson 20A is dedicated to the Grid View. The List View control is used to display a group of records using a template. This control also supports sorting, paging, and editing. The Repeater control is used to display a group of records using a template. You can nest tabular controls. Also, you can nest list controls within tabular controls. In this lesson, you use the data layer that you created in Lesson 18 to display data in an ASP.NET Web Forms application. The lesson requirements are the datalayer.dll created in Lesson 18, the recipes.mdf file used in Lesson 18, and the connection string text file. Before you can begin this lesson, you need to verify that the recipes.mdf file is not read-only. Yep, ours is good to go. So now open the Microsoft Visual Web Developer 2010 Express, select New Project, select the ASP.NET Web Application Template, and under Lesson 19A for the name of the application. And finally, click the OK button. Right-click the References folder to add a reference, select the .NET tab, and scroll down to the System.Data.Entity component. Once you have found it, select it and click the OK button. Right-click the References folder again, and this time click the Browse tab to browse to the datalayer.dll file. It should be in the Data Layer folder in the debug. There you go. There it is. Now we need to add the connection string. The connection string is in the connection string text file. So open that, and we're going to add it to the connection string element of the web.config. Okay, copy all of that. Control C to copy that to the clipboard. Go back into your web.config and Control V to paste it in. Now, right-click the name of the project and add a new web form that uses a master page called category.aspx. Select Site Master as the master page. Add a checkbox list, a button, and a literal. And try not to forget to change the title within the At Page directive to category, like I did. Change the button's name to a button category and the text to select category. Change the literal to literal count. Go back to Design View and click the button to automatically add the click event handler for the button. Now let's add the page load code. First we're going to do is we're going to set the data layer. So underscore entity is going to be equal to the data layer dot recipe database entities that we created, our entity data model. We're going to use link for our link to entities to grab our categories and populate our checkbox list. Then, whenever they click the button, they're going to count how many items are checked, and then update the list count text to equal the number of the number of items that were checked. And then we need to go to the site.master and add a tab. Click the F5 button to run the application. Select the Category tab, and then click a couple of the items and hit select. Oh, what? 0 items were selected? Why are no items being selected? The reason for that is every time the page is being loaded, it's repopulating those boxes. And so it's losing the information about which item was checked. So we need to change our page load event to only reload those checkboxes when it is not a postback. So say if page is not a postback, do this. So that way on postbacks, it will not repopulate those checkboxes. Hit F5, run the application again. Click the Category tab and check all boxes, and then ta-da, you have selected 2 items. Okay, now let's go back in and change the title for the category page to category by updating the title attribute of the At Page directive. Click the F5 button. And there you have it. Our category title has been updated. Click some buttons, and now we have perfection.